Hi, my name is Caitlin File, and I'm a certified functional medicine health coach here at Leaves of Life in Worthington, Ohio. I'm here to talk with you today about seasonal affective disorder, sometimes called SAD. Of course, it's appropriately acronymed SAD. I'm sure you know that it means when we're in the winter time, especially those of us who are laterally located above Atlanta, like Worthington, Ohio is, where we get much less sun, fewer hours of daylight overall, and then less vitamin D from the sun and all the benefits that can come with that. So it usually leads to lower mood, lower energy, and some symptoms of depression. Sometimes it can lead to sleep disturbances and other hormonal imbalances as well, because it really affects their circadian rhythm. But I have a few tips for you today. We have a blog post about this as well, so definitely check out our blog for more information. But these are just tips that, of course, you can use supplementation a lot of the time. But these are some other tips besides supplements, because I always like to say supplements are to supplement lifestyle and nutrition. It's not the end all be all. We also have to take into account our habits. So my very first tip is to utilize light in the morning. We get less light in the morning here in Ohio just all day. Of course, the sun sets around 5:30, even though we are getting more daylight by a few minutes each day, which is hopeful now that the winter solstice is over. But in the morning, a lot of people wake up before it is light outside, or you wake up and it's very gray and dark still. So you can either park yourself in front of the window when it is, a little bit light outside. Of course, if the sun is out, don't stare directly at the sun, but just getting natural light into your retina for about 10 to 30 minutes really, really helps out the circadian rhythm. It boosts a little bit of cortisol in the morning to get us awake, motivated, bright-eyed to take on the day, and it really helps our melatonin levels at night, which help the cortisol and the other, hormones, the stress hormones and sex hormones throughout our day. So you can park yourself in front of the window, or you can get a happy light. They have all different kinds of happy lights for all different budgets. A happy light is an artificial light source that mimics the sun that you can kind of put on your face for 20 minutes as you're getting ready in the morning to really, really help and set the tone for the day. We just need to think about sleep from the moment that we wake up. And this is one of the best things you can do, not only for sleep disturbances, but for how you feel throughout the day, energy and mood. Another thing, speaking of light, is getting just outside into nature more often. Getting outside helps. It's been clinically proven that getting outside lowers cortisol, which helps with mood and energy as well. So I like to tell myself that the cold helps me. It has been also proven that the cold helps our vagus nerve, vagal tone, and our mitochondria. It helps the mitochondria to produce more ATP, which really helps our energy. So I always am like, it's good for my mitochondria. It's good for my mitochondria when I'm outside in the cold. And if you put on a bunch of layers, and if you have a dog, it helps even more to get out there. If you put on a bunch of layers, you're fine. It's only as cold as your clothes are thin. So that is incredibly helpful. And once you get out there, usually you won't just stay out there for 5-10 minutes. It will be, a longer 15-30 minute walk, which we do about twice a day. And I can't tell you how much of a difference that makes for my mood and energy in the wintertime. And then speaking of living with nature, my final tip is for part one, at least, is to have an earlier bedtime. So going to bed, maybe just an hour earlier, half an hour earlier. Some people have to work up to going to bed earlier, and then a slightly earlier rising time, or just getting more sleep overall, really helps us to live in the rhythm of nature, kind of hunker down. It helps also with emotional eating. So, of course, when we get more sleep, typically we have more energy and feel a better mood the next day, but also just one fewer hour of sleep from your normal allotment of sleep per night really increases emotional eating, which, your brain, everything is more tired. When we're more tired, our organs are more tired as well. They have to work harder to do the same things that they do with more sleep. So it really increases emotional eating because it's harder to regulate blood sugar, and the blood sugar goes too low, and then the brain says, oh, I need some glucose immediately. So then you want to reach for the sugary carby, starchy, refined foods. So there's more in our blog, like I mentioned, and also stick around for part 2 because I'll get into some supplementation. Thanks.